Alright, Dogs by Nature Rufio here, and today we're going to be taking a look finally at Kevin Stefanski's offense. Just a very brief look today, really only looking at one play. Why one play? Well, because Stefanski's entire offense is based around one play, and that play is outside zone. In my opinion, this is a very good decision. I'm very excited to watch this play out in Cleveland. I'm hopeful he's able to learn as much as he could from Kubiak, and he's able to bring this system to Cleveland to implement it. Now, why one play? I've kind of touched on this in previous videos, but when you spread yourself thin as a play caller, as an offensive designer, you make it so that your players have to learn so many different things that you can't really go into depth about what they do for a given play. And when we learn outside zone, when we teach outside zone to our guys, if that's the main play that the offense is based around, they're going to be able to run outside zone against any defense we could possibly see, right? Every week, a coach is going to be trying to scheme up to stop our team. They're going to come up with a different wrinkle. Guys are going to be where we're not going to expect. And to me, that's really what differentiates this zone run, any just regular old run that you run, versus a zone blocking system. To me, that's it. It's really paring down and focusing the offense around, again, one play so that we can run that regardless of what we see. Now, I'm going to talk more in future videos about the benefits I think that has, that echo kind of throughout the team. But today, I'm just trying to introduce this play to you all and show you kind of what it is, right? Because it's going to be really important for our offense. So at its core, the outside zone play is a horizontal displacement play. Now, this might go against some people's ideas of what a good running game is or what they think a running game is. A lot of people think about a vertical displacement running game when they think about a running game. And that is getting your guys to shove their guys downhill off the line of scrimmage and just pushing them back, right? Well, in the NFL, when everybody's this talented as they are, it's really, really hard to get 5 offensive linemen who are simply that much bigger and stronger that they can pick up the other team and just shove them backward, right? That's just a very difficult thing to do. And then not only do you have to do it once, but you got to keep all 5 of those guys healthy, and you got to keep them together contractually, right, under a salary cap. It's very, very hard to get that together in the NFL and then keep it together. Well, one thing you're going to see from the zone block system is that because we are not a vertical displacement team, we are a horizontal displacement team, we don't need those guys, right? All we need are people who are quick enough that they can get to the right spots quickly. We want to beat the linemen horizontally, so quickness is going to be very important. They need to be smart enough that they can get this all communicated and figure out the right guys to block. And then they need to be technicians. So they need to have enough technique that they don't just get dominated by a guy who likely is going to be bigger and or stronger and or faster than they are on the defensive line, right? You've got guys like Aaron Donald out there that you've got to block, right? And good luck. So again, at its core, this is a horizontal displacement play. What does that mean? That means on the front side of the play, what we were trying to get the defense to do is either we're going to run outside and we're either going to hook them back inside and then let our back simply just run around everybody. Or if we try to get outside and then they go outside and they beat us out there, we're going to kick them out and spread them horizontally, get them to run and spread them out. Okay? And this is going to be a zone run left. So that play side action, that spreading out action is going to happen on the left side of this line. On the back side of the play, on the right side of this line, what we want is to pin them in place, okay? So a lot of times it's going to happen with a cut block, a block where our offensive linemen go at the thighs of the other team and try to just chop them down, right? Because if they all fall down and they're laying on the field, they're not moving anywhere, right? So we pin them in place. If we can't cut block, we're going to try to, again, get to the play side before they do and hook them back to the back side of the play. Now, ideally, with a lot of this, if you are a lineman who ends up anywhere near where the back is going to make his cut, you want to be just squaring up the defensive lineman or linebacker. You just want to meet them square, keep your shoulders kind of parallel with the line of scrimmage, and you just want to square them up and let that runner cut to either side of you. What we don't want in this offense is a lot of turning. So if this left tackle here, let's say, for instance, were to block inside on this defensive tackle, on this 3 technique, he wouldn't want to put his butt in the hole and kind of turn horizontally, turn sideways to cut him off, if that makes any sense. Okay, so that's the play in a nutshell. We're spreading or hooking to the left to the play side. We are cutting off to the backside, and what that's going to do structurally to a defense is just spread them thin, right? And if we take this play all the way wide and we cut the backside down and keep them in place, somewhere along that front there is going to be a crease that opens for the running back, a gap that is too wide for one defender to fill, and that running back is going to put his foot in the ground and he's going to cut downhill into that crease. That's what we're aiming to do from a big picture standpoint. Now, that is kind of why sometimes you hear this play called a stretch play, right? This play goes by many names: outside zone, wide zone, stretch, etc. That's where the kind of stretch action comes from. Everything is spreading wide from a big picture standpoint. So how do we actually do that, right? Again, why do we focus on one play? Well, that is because we're trying to get our guys to block the right guys over here. And you see this so much in the NFL. People are moving around, shifting before the snap, right? And these down linemen, once they get in their stance, they've got 600 pounds, 700 pounds of human being in front of them, right? They can't see the safety walking out in the box over here. They can't see a linebacker in a two-point stance over here. If you're this left guard, you've got this dude right up on you, breathing fire in your face. If you're the center, you got to snap the ball and then go block a guy 100 pounds heavier than you. So you can't see the whole field. The quarterback can, the offense coordinator up in the booth can, but these guys down in their stances, they can't. And that's such an understated point that you don't see from TV, that if you haven't played in this kind of position before, you wonder, why are they blocking the wrong guy? Well, they can't see him. So if we limit our running plays and we only have this one play that we really focus on first, we can then communicate every kind of combination of defenders that we see, every position that they could be in. We know how to handle it, right? Because we studied it in the classroom. And then we have that chemistry where we get the practice reps of saying, okay, we're going to double team here up to this, right? And you got to be able to do that quick, especially if we're going to the line in a hurry up mode, and you've got to get to the right guy in a hurry. So that is really what the system is good at doing. That's really what paring the playbook down is. One thing it's good at doing is getting that communication sorted out. So on this particular play, what we're going to do is we're going to have combination blocks. And that's how a lot of these blocks from the down lineman will start. You will be looking to double team one player with a player next to you. And it, kind of the simplified version of this is covered, uncovered, right? So we're going to call this tight end is covered up by this outside linebacker here. So he's covered. Then the next guy inside, we're going to call him uncovered. I know this guy's kind of playing in the gap, but here they made a decision. Okay, that guy belongs to this guard. He's covering the guard. So we've got a covered guy and an uncovered guy. The uncovered guy is going to look to work play side. So the direction of the run, he's going to look to work that way. And in combination with the guy next to him, up to the second level. So it's pretty clear, this picture right here, that this tight end tackle combination, they're going to double this outside linebacker and climb to this linebacker right here. Now, one of the reasons this is kind of called a zone blocked play is you can't predetermine, I have this guy, I have this guy. You want to wait to see kind of how the defense plays out. One common response in the NFL right now is a scrape exchange. A lot of times when you see a mobile quarterback, you see these scrape exchanges where the outside player will actually dive in, and then the back player will scrape over the top, and they'll kind of exchange themselves, exchange their gaps. So this tackle here has to make sure that that isn't going to happen before he climbs. But it sure looks from this picture like the tight end's going to end up kicking out this outside linebacker. Tackle will step that way and then climb to this linebacker. Next down the field, because this tackle is gone in combination with the tight end, we have a left guard here who is soloed up. He doesn't have the ability to pull the center with him to have him help because of that center's picture. So they made a call where the guard is going to solo block here. Moving backside even further, we have a reverse backside kind of cutoff block on this play. And here's why we need athletic linemen. 64 here, the right guard, is going to have to work to the play side of this nose tackle, beat him to the spot, and he wants to get his helmet outside to the play side of that nose tackles. The center is going to attempt to work through the play side A gap, through the play side gap next to him, climb up to the second level and get this linebacker, depending on how this plays out, right? If the nose tackle plays out, linebacker in, again, you're going to switch your responsibilities. Same thing that happened right here. Even further back, we have yet another combination. We have a tackle tight end combination on the backside of the play. They're going to look briefly to double team here. It's likely that this player is going to play inside, play side, so the tackle is going to take him. In that case, the tight end would take whatever's most dangerous back here. Typically, what that means is we're leaving the end man on the line of scrimmage free. and we're trying to control him with the quarterback bootleg. So this is a great aspect of this play. We have a plan to block the guys that we have the numbers to block. What does that mean? That means we have 7 blockers here, right? We've got 2 tight ends, 5 down linemen, that's 7. They have an 8-man front. And if we do this kind of running game, we're going to see a lot of 8-man fronts against our offense. So we can't block them all, right? We got to choose who do we block and who do we leave free. Well, we're going to want to block the 7 most dangerous guys, the 7 guys to the play side of the play, because our aiming point for this play is to go wide out here. We can leave a backside guy unblocked. And a lot of what teams will try to do is control that with the quarterback. The traditional way of doing this, the old school way of doing this, is the bootleg. All right, so we're likely to see a lot of bootleg play action passes off of this running game, because when that quarterback bootlegs, you better have somebody on the backside of the play staying home to handle that quarterback. Otherwise, Baker can just take this ball and run for 20 yards a pop, right? So we're looking to see our offensive minds on the team, the quarterback, the offensive coordinator, are looking to see, is there somebody, who's staying backside and taking that quarterback? And if there's not, we're primed for a bootleg. If we are, then we're playing 7-on-7 to the play side because they wasted 1 to the backside. I hope that makes sense. So that's how we equate numbers. Another thing you may see, I'm hopeful we see it, we might not see it in year 1 because it's kind of a lot to put in, is the read action, right? This is where the zone read play comes into effect when you have a zone blocked running play, and then we're actually going to read that guy instead of just bootlegging and hoping that we call the right play ahead of time. If the quarterback's in shotgun, quarterback's in pistol, he can then see that guy and make a read. That could be an RPO, run pass option. It could be a run option where the quarterback's running. It could be any number of things. That's where that terminology comes from. But essentially, both those things are 2 ways of doing the same thing. They are trying to control the 8th man in the front, the guy that we can't block. If we can get all this sorted out right, where our offensive linemen are going up to the right second-level guys, making the right blocks in the first level, and our quarterback is taking care of one of the backside guys, if we can do that, we can run into a box where we don't have favorable numbers. And if we can do that, we're going to have a lot of success in the NFL. All right, the last aspect of this play that I haven't really talked about to this point is the running back. And that is another way that this is a zone play. This is not a gap block play. In other words, where the running back is told, I'm going through the A gap. He's choosing a gap based on the way that all this is playing out. So what the running back is going to do is take 1 drop step or a little kind of stutter step. Everybody's a little bit different at the beginning of the play, so we get a little stutter hop here. He's going to take 3 steps, receive the ball in his 3rd step, and he's going to read the outside man on the line of scrimmage. He's going to be heading at the tight end. Different teams have different aiming points for this. Could be at the tight end, could be yard outside the tight end. Somewhere in this vicinity is where the running back is aiming. And that is a spot of grass, right? That is a spot on the field. That is not the player. So obviously as we move this forward, that tight end is going to get out to block. The running back's aiming point does not move with the tight end. It stays on the patch of grass where the tight end used to be. That's an important distinction. So our running back is going to take 3 steps ahead to where that tight end used to be. On his 3rd step, he's going to make a decision. Can I bounce this outside? Can I get to the edge and run around everybody? Or have these guys all played out, and then I need to cut it downhill. And so by his 5th step, he's going to make that. He's going to actually physically do that. 3rd step decision. 5th step is the cut. In this case, he decided he was going to bounce outside because what ended up happening on this play was that outside linebacker got hooked in by that tight end, and the running back could just run right around everybody. So this is where you see a lot of cut back, quote-unquote cut back plays. I'm going to have a video on that all by itself. But this running back here is choosing a gap. Where do I like my hole? He's trying to feel where these defenders are going, feel how these blocks are playing out, and then make a quick, hard decision. There's no turning back once you make it. Put that foot in the ground and either bounce it outside or go downhill. So if we wind it back here, we can see how this played out. So again, tackle tight end, double teaming on that outside linebacker there. And as that linebacker plugs off the line of scrimmage downhill, tackle comes off to get him. And this is exactly the kind of squaring up that you want to do to give that running back a decision. Can I and be able to cut really on either side. Now the guard who's one-on-one here doesn't do as good of a job. And again, we don't need to win all of these on every play. All we really need to do is slow these guys down especially when we get that bounce read. If we can just slow the backside of the play down, that running back is gone. He's never coming back, and those guys aren't going to catch him. The center here, I have a lot of respect for after watching him on film. He's a really smart player, really athletic player. I think very underrated. Is a great pickup from Minnesota in the draft. But you notice that he is working through the play side of that nose tackle here. The nose tackle kind of grabs him, and that's something you're going to see from a lot of teams where they're just trying to grab our guys and stop them from getting up to the second level. But the center is able to kind of rip through that and go and get that Mike linebacker there, climb to the Mike. Backside guard, this is a really good job of overtaking that nose tackle, using his athleticism, getting to the play side to cut off that nose tackle there. And then on the backside, we have the right tackle gets beat here. You'd like to see that initial step looks great. He's got his helmet to the play side, but look at how he's lost his leverage. And he may have actually stepped on his teammate here. So that might have caused it. But that right tackle is coming off the ball too high. He needs to be lower so he doesn't get kind of jacked around like this, because this is what will happen a lot is these defensive linemen will stack and they'll try to shed and throw you off and go make the play. But thankfully, again, the right tackle did enough here to slow that player down on the backside, and then that guy is never coming back in the picture, never going to be able to make the play. Tight end here does a great job as well. Irv Smith, I believe here, he's going to go work to the play side in the combination, but he never actually ends up getting there. As he takes his 3 steps inside, he sees that that player is playing out. He knows it's the tackle's responsibility, and then he's just hunting for the most dangerous player on the backside, who I think he read as the end here, as the player that he could get. Now you also notice the safety here is staying home. So the quarterback pitches the ball, takes that little burst at the backside, and you see that that's enough to get this safety to just kind of hesitate and not go screaming, scraping over the top. That's what you want to watch for as an offensive coordinator, and the quarterback should be watching for that as well as he rolls out to see, are we primed for a bootleg, or are they staying at home, keeping that player on that side, and we have the numbers to the play side. All right, folks, so that's it for today's introduction to the outside zone play. Again, it's the base play in Kevin Stefanski's offense. It should be the play that we base the entire offense around. Very excited to see what he does with it, and hopefully it just keeps the offense a little bit more concise and focused than we had these past couple of years. Again, I hope you're all doing okay with the global pandemic going on right now, and hopefully we can, even though we don't have any live sports going on currently, we can at least look back and kind of look forward and think about sports as being that kind of important distraction in our lives when things get a little too real. So make sure to tune in to dogsbynature.com for all your Cleveland Browns news and analysis. I'm Rufio. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you in the next one.